his opponent standing across the cage. Fighting out of the red corner, representing Team Monkey MMA Junior Morgan. Our referee in charge of the action, Mr. Dean Weir.
As that cage door closes, our referee Dean Weir takes over the action as we enter this lightweight competition.
Two very contrasting, guys in the corner. You got very relaxed. Junior's just chilling. Liam ready to go.
Yeah, Liam looking to start this fight quickly. Interesting, straight into the shot for Morgan. Not what I expected. Dooley defended it nicely. He's got good wrestling as well, and as I say, physically very strong. Nice little suplex attempt there.
Junior high guard there, maybe looking for the triangle or the arm. It looks like the triangle.
Yep. Dooley's doing a good attempt at defending at the moment. One of the things that Dooley sometimes does is aggression sometimes lands him in trouble. And there's a potential here for that. Morgan's in a reasonable position. He can go for... He's going for the go-go platter. Dooley's trying to defend it. He's pushing down on the foot. He's doing the right things there, but it's quite a hard submission to defend, really. There's no leverage that you can put in place. You kind of got to take the pressure off by pushing down on that foot and trying to keep your distance. If he can slip those hands off the back of his head, if he can get Morgan's hands to slip off the back of the head, that'll free his head and it'll put him in a very strong position then.
And the pressure here is on the shoulder. Is this?
No, it's a throat attack. So the go-go platter is a throat attack. It's a form of choke. I think he's lost it now. He has got the opportunity on the back of this to swap into a couple of other submissions. He can go straight into an omoplata. He can swap into a triangle if he brings that leg back through.
So this is the shin doing the job of the forearm for...
Yep.
Wonderful.
Yep, exactly. It's not a submission you see very often. It can be quite difficult to finish, as I mentioned before. But he's doing a pretty good job of keeping the pressure on. I think Dooley's got some space. He's got to watch that left arm that's trapped, though. And Morgan's going to switch to that left arm at some point.
Landing good shots from the bottom, making it almost impossible for Dooley to defend them.
Yeah. It'd take a brave referee to stop a fight from that position, though, regardless of how hard those shots are going in, because it's not a dominating position for the guy underneath.
Oh, he's worked his way out, slipped out.
Yep. Now, Dooley's got some big shots, actually, so if he can get himself into a strong position on top, he could unleash some real pain from here. He needs to watch that arm. He's trapped in a position that could see a bicep slicer come on.
Junior's using a really active guard. I mean, I'm surprised that he came out with this game plan.
Yeah, I didn't think he would go for the takedown. I really thought he'd use his range. Maybe just trying to test a different set of skills for himself, show that he's evolved as a fighter.
And the joy of for the MMA layman who sees the guy on the bottom right now, although he's been on the bottom for the majority of this fight, a judge must find it very difficult to give the fight to the fighter on top. He's defending position more than taking it.
Yeah, certainly it's a difficult one for the judges because the tendency is to look at the fighter on top, the fighter doing the work on top. He's in the more dominant position, but to be honest, so far Dooley's really just had to stave off the attacks from Morgan. He is trapped in a position. If Morgan knew the bicep slicer, he probably could have gone for the bicep slicer on that round, and it's a pretty devastating submission.
A surprising first round. Junior's grappling looking good, exhibiting a really active guard game from his back. Kept Liam defensive almost that whole round.
Yeah, certainly. If I was a betting man, I'd probably say he did enough in that to win that round. I don't think it was a dominating round. There was no damage done. There was no real danger for Dooley. He was caught in that submission, but it wasn't, it didn't look as though he had to desperately get out of it. He did a good job of defending it from day one. Now, I would guess you're looking at Matt Thorpe now. Matt's got to be giving Dooley a new game plan coming out and saying, right, okay, we've got to be ready for that shoot. I'm pretty positive he probably didn't plan on Morgan coming out shooting.
I don't think anybody would have called that. It's going to be interesting, though, to see if Morgan changes things up now. Was this just to make Dooley think about the shot so he can exploit his range? We'll see in this round.
It's a reasonable tactic, actually, to change completely. So second round, come out, right, I'm just going to stand it, go back to the old style and then throw the strikes, keep the range.
One of the things we got to watch out for as well is Junior throws great knees up the middle. Yeah. If Liam shoots for a takedown and doesn't time it right, we could expect that response.
So we go, second round. Our referee Dean Weir gets the action underway. Dooley still looks keen. Nice low kick thrown in. He goes for the takedown himself. Looks very similar to the position we were in before, but actually it's full guard this time round. Morgan's got the long legs. He's going for the armbar. Well defended from Dooley. Dooley has lost to armbar before now. Big shot's gone in. This is a dangerous position for Dooley. When you've got an opponent that's got long legs like that, you want to posture up, throw the shots, but that guy can still go for the arm locks.
Yeah.
You know,
and he's constantly working that guard up high, working a half butterfly at the moment.
Yep.
He's active on the bottom, but this time Dooley keeping that head to the chest, which I know is so important for control, and now pushing him to the cage.
He's using the cage, that's the right thing to do. He's managed to pass into half guard. He wants to get those hips back out now. Now here's a good position to be. I like half guard for ground and pound. I think it gives you control of the hits, but enough movement to deliver some big shots. Morgan trying to stand up. I'd like to see Dooley perhaps being a bit more active from this position. He probably doesn't feel he's secured a strong enough position to do it, but at the moment, you're not really scoring in this position. You're certainly not going to be finishing the fight.
He's looking to pull those hips away from the cage, just so, and there he is. He's got him a little further into half guard now.
Yep, Morgan getting off the flat of his back. One of the first things you do when you're in half guard, get off the flat of your back. He's managed to get himself up. Dooley going for the guillotine. It was a mistake. It wasn't sealed.
First time we've seen Junior on top of this fight. See if he's going to look for subs or if he's going to look to throw some heavy ground and pound.
Certainly, and I know that probably not Dooley's favourite position. He's an aggressive puncher wrestler rather than a jiu-jitsu style fighter. But he has got submissions. He does know his submissions. He's trained well at 12 gauge. I'm just not entirely convinced this was his first choice of position.
He seems to be wanting to try and work those legs up in the guard. He's not just laying there. He's still trying to work. Junior again looking heavy though.
Yeah, he's got the underhook on this side, and perhaps he should be using that underhook to look for a way out. You can use that to get the underhook, come out, perhaps look towards taking the back or slide out from that side. He's come back in the middle now. Some big shots.
Using the cage well as well to limit the head movement there.
Yeah, this is the difference between, practicing these techniques on a mat in a gym and all of a sudden in the cage when you've got the third man, which is the cage wall to help control your opponent. If you're drilled and well practiced in that, can become a hell of an advantage for you.
Liam doing the right thing, though, trying to circle away from the cage, and it looks like he's looking. It looked like he was looking.
Yeah, he was going for the arm bar there. He didn't have the arm secured, so Morgan was able to pull his elbow back and defend that position. We've got the last few seconds of the round. Difficult round to call, actually. I don't think either of them had a lot of success. Morgan landed a little bit more in the way of strikes from the top position.
Yeah, certainly a little busier on the top.
Dooley got the takedown, though, at the start, and obviously they had the top position for the first half of the round. I wouldn't want to be judging this one.
No. Although I got to suggest that both cornermen are telling these guys this is close. You need to win the round or perhaps finish the fight.
So I knowing exactly what I know about Matt Thorpe, his fighters are training to finish fights. They don't want to go out and just sort of eke away each round. They want to finish fights. But Dooley's going to come out and he's going to go for the finish again. So he will throw hard leather, he will throw the hard kicks, he will go for the good takedowns, and he will try and dominate from top position. I just don't think he's managed to do that so far in this fight, and Morgan's just looked as though he's had the little bit of the edge all the way through so far.
I think maybe that first round got into his head a little bit. No one expected that, but then Dooley fires back with the takedown right at the beginning of the second. Maybe this is the round they stay on their feet.
Yeah. I mean, this could be a big round. I think, quite easily, the winner of this round could be the guy who takes home the winner for the fight.
Absolutely.
There we go. Touching gloves, sign of respect. Interesting to see whether Morgan now starts to set up outside. Good kick goes in. Dooley threw a couple of shots. He's caught in the grappling position. Again, that physical strength.
Ragdolled him into the cage.
Yeah. And this is where Dooley's got some strength. He's a good wrestler as well. You can see that leg control. And he's back into this top position in guard. He needs to posture up and throw some leather, though. No good throwing it with, when you've got your head on the chest. It's okay, that's quite controlling. But actually, you need the distance to be able to get the power behind the shots. The equation, it's speed over distance equals force. If you want a big shot, you've got to throw it fast and over a long distance.
You think that the fact that Junior's constantly throwing that guard up high is causing Liam a little bit of concern, which is why he's not posturing up as much?
Yeah, certainly. But I didn't get any credit for my science equations.
I'm ever sorry about that, Aaron. I'll be paying more attention next time, I promise.
Yeah, because it's educational, this as well. So Dooley in guard. He has thrown some leather. I've not seen anything from Morgan really to suggest much of an attack so far.
But just keeps throwing those armbar.
And it's on, it's deep, it is deep. And Dooley looking for the slam out. It's a dangerous way to escape, to be honest. You can just put that armbar even further. And Morgan is cranking it on, but I don't think it's deep enough, you know.
It looks like he's trying to turn belly down with it and just can't. Great escape.
But Dooley nearly put himself back in the triangle then. He should have used that opportunity to get to side control, you know. He was almost there for side control. He turned the wrong direction, put himself back into the guard. It may be those attacks from Morgan that might be enough. You know, he's going to finish the fight. He's gone for those attacks. They're not really close, but, you know, they are dangerous, and he might be seen by the judges as that's the guy trying to finish the fight.
Every time Dooley postures up come those long legs of Junior Morgan. Every time.
Yeah. I think Dooley needs some big leather to go through, and I'm not convinced he can do that from guard, actually, because, again, the length of Morgan's legs mean it's very difficult. He's looking to step over to half guard. He's not managed to get it.
Again, that physical attribute, that just pure leg. He's looking for the arm again, I think.
Yeah. It's, you know, when you've got somebody with limbs that long, they can seem to pull out sort of arm locks, triangles, things like that from almost nowhere, even when you should be in a position that you think you're safe. You know, the common rule is, hey, posture up. But actually, these guys can sometimes still get the arm bars when you posture up, and it can stop you sitting up and throwing the big leather. Big shots from Dooley, though. Morgan back to the armbar. Dooley's defended it, but he puts himself back into the guard position. Yeah. He's had opportunities on defending those.
Looking for the triangle now.
Dooley's got his arm in. It can still be finished from here.
Is this just Junior? Yeah, Junior holding position, landed some shots on the bottom. You know, for a fight that takes place on the ground, that was entertaining. I enjoyed that, man.
Do you know what surprises me on that fight? Not what I expected at all.
I expected them to try each other out on their feet a little more. I certainly didn't expect Junior to initiate the takedowns. No. Some wonderful transitions.
So, difficult one to score. Told you he's a physical specimen. Backflips in the cage. Morgan, I think, did better work on the ground grappling-wise. Stand up, 50-50. I think that Dooley threw a few more shots. Takedowns, one round, first round, Morgan. In the second and third round, the takedowns were both initiated by Dooley. This is a real tough one to call.
I don't envy the judges on this one.
We're going to hand over to Jonathan Millard and hear the official decision.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to our judges this evening. With a unanimous decision, your winner, Blue, Liam Dooley. And let's hear it for his opponent. Let's hear it for Junior Morgan.